there, and welcome to another episode of Makeup and Music. I'm your host, Ashley, and today I am going to talk about the Eagles. Heard of them? If you haven't, come out from under the rock you've been living under. Yes, I know I'm old and I talk about old music singers and groups, but the Eagles are iconic. And if you haven't heard of them, no matter what age you are, I don't know what to tell you, because you are missing out on some good music. If you haven't heard of them, you are probably listening to crappy music anyways, and you need to be enlightened. Okay, don't turn me off. Keep listening, because you're going to learn something good here. I promise. So here we go. The Eagles are an American rock band that was formed in Los Angeles in 1971. And no, I wasn't born yet, but yes, I love the Eagles. They had some great tunes. The founding members were Glenn Frey, who played guitar and sang vocals, Don Henley, who was on the drums and sang vocals, Bernie Leadon, who played guitar and vocals, and Randy Meisner, who was on the bass guitar and also vocals. With 5 number 1 singles, 6 number 1 albums, 6 Grammy Awards, and 5 American Music Awards, the Eagles were one of the most successful musical acts of the 1970s. Their albums, their greatest hits from 1971 to 1975 and Hotel California, ranked first and third among the best-selling albums in the U.S. with 38 million and 26 million units in sales. The Eagles are one of the world's best-selling brands, having sold more than 200 million records, including 100 million sold in the U.S. alone. They were ranked number 75 on Rolling Stone's 2004 list of 100 greatest artists of all time. Okay, so let's fast forward a little bit here. So the Eagles broke up in July of 1980, but reunited for their in 1994 for the album Hell Freezes Over. Apparently, when they broke up, they said hell would freeze over before they got back together again. So hence the name, they got back together and, well, hell froze over, I guess. Anyways, they began touring consistently when they reunited in 94, and I actually saw them in 1995 in Oklahoma City on that tour, Hell Freezes Over. I was 18 years old, a young lad. My dad was a huge Eagles fan, and he had raised me to appreciate good music. So I knew I was in for quite an experience, quite a show by going to their concert. Now, my dad had this album from the Eagles, an Eagles album, and at that time, it was already 20 years old, that album. And anyways, I snuck that album out of the house, and because of my contacts, which my contacts being my grandmother, who, might I add, was the coolest grandma around, I was able to get backstage, and the entire band, the Eagles, signed that album for me. So, what a cool thing to have, right? Now, if you have an album of the Eagles, that's pretty special. But if it's autographed by all the band members, that is even better. When I brought it back home and gave it to my dad, he didn't even care that I had snuck it out. It was a surprise for him. And anyway, now he has it framed and he shows it off to everybody because it's pretty cool. So anyways, back to the Eagles. I saw them again in 1999. Yes, they were that good. In 95, I went back again in 99. Okay. So they were inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 1998. In 2007, they released Long Road Out of Eden, which was their first full studio album in 28 years and their 6th #1 album. They launched the Long Road Out of Eden tour in support of their album the next year. By 2013, they began the extended History of the Eagles tour in conjunction with the band's documentary release, History of the Eagles. Sadly, Glenn Frey was very ill and he passed away in 2016. So they took a year off and reformed again in 2017 with Vince Gill and Deacon Fry, who happens to be Glenn's son, joining the band and sharing vocals for Fry's songs. And I gotta tell you, I can't think of anyone better than Vince Gill to join that group. I mean, that is a spot-on decision, just my opinion, but I bet Don Henley agrees with me. Okay, so let me tell you about the members of the group. So there was Glenn Frey. He was a founding member, doing lead and backing vocals and playing rhythm and lead guitar, keyboards, and harmonica. And he was part of the group from 1971 to 1980, and which is when they broke up, and then again in 1994 when they got back together, to 2016 when he passed away. Don Henley is also a founding member. He's a current member who is lead and backing vocals, playing drums, percussion, and rhythm guitar. He's been part of the band, the entire time, basically from when it started, when they broke up, when they got back together, and currently. Joe Walsh, he joined the group in 1975, and he is a current member. So he plays rhythm guitar and keyboards, and then he does lead and backing vocals. Timothy B Schmidt joined the group in 1977, and he's still in the group. And he is the bass guitarist and harmonica player, as well as lead and backing vocals. Don Felder was part of the group from 1974 to 1980, and then again in 1994 when they regrouped to 2001. He was fired from the group in 2001, and he has 2 pending lawsuits against the band. Don't know what his problem is. Don't know what's going on there. I'm sure I could probably do some research and find out. Okay, so the other 2 founding members, the original members, Bernie Leadon, he was part of the group until 1975. He came back in 2013, and then left again in 2016. And then Randy Meisner, he left in 1977. So he's been gone. He's been long gone, and he's missed all the fun. And of course, there is now Vince Gill and Deacon Fry, Glenn Fry's son. So moving along, now that we have a brief history, let's get a glimpse into some of the success of the Eagles. The group played their first show in October of 1971 with the original 4 members under the name Teen King and the Emergencies, although that wasn't their official band name because they hadn't really settled on a name. The idea of naming the band Eagles came during a peyote and tequila influenced group outing in the Mojave Desert, but accounts of the origin of the name vary, and there are several stories. Don't really know which one is the true account. Their good friend Steve Martin has his own version of how the group got their band name, and you can look that information up. But anyways, the group's debut album was recorded in February of 1972, and it was a breakthrough success, yielding 3 top 40 singles with songs such as Take It Easy, Witchy Woman, and Peaceful Easy Feeling. They were all huge hits. The next album, On the Border, takes us to the era of 1973 through 1975. They wanted to break away from the country rock style and move more towards hard rock. Felder joins the group as the 5th Eagle in 1974, and also in 1974, they played a California Jam Festival that attracted more than 300,000 fans. Success was seen with hits such as Best of My Love, Already Gone, One of These Nights, Lion Eyes, and Take It to the Limit. Moving along to 1975, 1977, they see more major success as Hotel California is released. Joe Walsh replaces Leadon as the guitarist for the band, and Randy Meisner also leaves the band in 1977, but along comes Timothy B. Schmidt to replace him. In 1977, the Eagles went into the studio to record The Long Run, and it took 2 years to record, finally being released in September of 1979. It topped the charts and sold 7 million copies. It included hit songs such as Heartache Tonight, I Can't Tell You Why, which is my absolute most favorite of all time Eagles song, and I can't tell you why, but it is. So on July 31st, 1980, tempers begin to boil. There is much animosity between Fry and Felder. There's lots of bickering backstage. The bickering continues, and they're bickering on stage as well. It seems that the end of the Eagles is fastly approaching. So the Eagles break up in 1980, and they move on to pursue solo careers during the period of 1980 to 1994 period. Fry and Henley are probably the most successful as individuals at having solo careers. In 1994, they get back together for the reunion, Hell Freezes Over, which is the quote I mentioned before, so they named their tour and album by this title. Glenn Fry is quoted as saying at their first live performance, quote, "For the record, we never broke up. We just took a 14-year vacation," end quote, in April 1994 at their first performance. And then the rest is history. There is so much information about the Eagles. I could talk forever, but I'm just going to leave you with this. The group was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 1988. On December 7th, 1999, Recording Industry of America honored the group with the best-selling album of the century for their greatest hits album. The Eagles were inducted into the Vocal Group Hall of Fame in 2001. The group ranked number 34 on Country Music Television's 40 Greatest Men of Country Music in 2003. They were one of 4 artists who were either a duo or group on the list, with the others being Alabama at number 11 and Brooks and Dunn at number 25. The group was chosen for the 2015 Kennedy Center Honors to be held December 6th that year, 2015, but postponed the award because of Fry's poor health, and then he died later that month. And the group has been nominated for 18 Grammy Awards, and they've won 6. Okay, so there you have it, the history of the Eagles. What an interesting group. What are some of your favorite Eagles songs? Tell me your favorites in the comments, because I would really like to know. Mine, of course, was I Can't Tell You Why, but I also really like Best of My Love and After the Thrill Is Gone. So tell me your favorites. So I hope you liked this video on the Eagles, and I hope you like this finished makeup look. It's been fun spending this time with you, and as always, thanks for watching. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe on my YouTube channel, Ashley Scarborough, and also like my Facebook page, Makeup by Ashley. Share my channel, share my page with your friends so I can get more likes and support, please. Y'all be safe out there, and until next time, take care of yourself, and I'll see you soon. Bye.